really likes that. She's actually eating quite a bit of it.
She's actually eating it, yeah.
And I keep thinking, okay, cancer you can have this year. You got it. I mean, I really think it's not realistic that I'm going to feel fully like it's behind me until it's been a year since my diagnosis, which would be October. And in October, I want to have a big party. And then I want to go on a vacation. Someplace where there's a hammock under a palm tree and a beach and a breeze and warm sun. And I just want to spend some time just noticing what I've been through and noticing that it's over. You know, to the extent that it can be over, because you always are going to worry. I will certainly be worrying about it coming back and having to go through it again, and the possibility exists. But I need to mark that transition with a celebration. So I thought I should document what's going on. First of all, here's my puppy. She's soaking up some rays. I haven't walked her yet. She's been really mellow about that. I have a friend coming over. Actually, I have two different friends coming over. One is coming over to walk with me. And another is coming over bringing dinner for the boys of my house. Therefore, then my husband will have the time that he would have spent making dinner for them, because they eat differently than I do. He can spend giving me a foot massage or something. And so that's the two friends coming over. And I also have AAA coming to tow my car, because look at my muffler. So this is my friend Albina. We're gardening together. Translation, I'm watching her do my garden. Because I ran out of steam. The dog walk was enough. So this is my garden. And it just looks like a patch of dead earth right now. But my hope is that even though I'm going to be tired with all this cancer stuff, that I still get a lot of good produce out of this patch of backyard this year.
I'm so excited right now.
You are?
Yeah.
Garden. My muffler fell off yesterday. I believe I showed you that. And it was perfect timing. I got it towed to the garage. They fixed it in a couple of hours. Got a new muffler. And I got it back the same night. So now I'm on my way. It's Thursday morning and I'm on my way to an appointment with my oncologist. I figure just since sometimes I embarrassed in public. Sometimes I show you my lunch. The embarrassment is taking over my brain. That I make for myself. I should show you that sometimes I let Whole Foods do it for me, because I was mid-grocery shop and I just was like, I have to have lunch. So I went to the salad bar. Here's my groceries. Haven't paid for them yet. Still have more things to get. People are staring at me like I'm crazy. It's Thursday afternoon. Just thinking through the week and the chemo I have tomorrow. Ready? I'm gonna throw it. You ready? I have to leave in 15 minutes to go pick up Jim on my way to chemo. And I'm finally, like, taking a moment to sit still and admit that I'm just completely freaked out. They had such a hard time finding a vein last time. I've been really worried about it this time. I'm really scared that they're not going to be able to do it. I'm upset that I have to take more pre-meds than it appears are necessary. And the reason I say that is that I've been told it's the policy at this hospital that you don't go below 8 milligrams of Decadron, which is a steroid, and 25 milligrams of Benadryl. But I've heard from others getting their chemo, the same chemo as I'm getting in different places, that they've been able to stop doing the Benadryl entirely. One person said, another person said she asked for Claritin and they gave her that instead, which didn't make her drowsy. And I've heard that people have gotten down to 4 milligrams of the Decadron, and I've also heard that people have gotten off all of the pre-meds altogether. And I'm only given them as a precaution in case I have an allergic reaction to something in the chemo. And I just have a hard time taking any medications unnecessarily. They do tax your body. I'm just really freaked out. I'm admitting it out loud for the first time today, and I haven't really paid attention to those emotions. Instead, I've just tried to drink a lot of fluids. Whenever I'm panicked, I eat too much food. I've definitely eaten too much food. I started to think maybe I was going to end up throwing up because I started to feel sick to my stomach, which is I always feel before chemo. It's just because it's just a psychological, I don't know, it's some kind of physical reaction, psychologically triggered thing that happens to anyone who's, if you've had chemo, you know there are things that you associate with chemo and they just make you queasy just to think of them or see them. And for me, it just starts hitting. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't feel like as recovered as I want to. I was afraid to exercise as much as I wanted to because I was afraid to be dehydrated for today. So I don't have that like good feeling in my body, like relaxed, like I worked out. I just feel bloated and stressed. Alright, off to chemo. This is downtown Hartford. I'm reaching my destination. Destination, that guy.
Hi there.
Hi. Come here, kiss your wave. So we did it. And it actually, getting the needle in went better today than it has gone ever. I was really stressed out. I didn't make any small talk and didn't joke around with Bonnie. I was just like, I just held my husband's hand, and this was the first time that I didn't watch. I just kind of like put my head on him. And she got it on the first try, right in my hand, right here. And it didn't hurt in the way that it often hurts when she puts it in. The same way, I mean, it's not, I've said this before, but it's not the same as just a little needle where they're taking a little blood. It's a little more involved and a little bigger. But it worked. First try. And now it's done. And now we're headed home. And she handed me the pre-meds, a little cup full of pills. And I thought she was gonna stay and kind of keep an eye on me and watch me take them, but she didn't. I was so tempted. Because the Decadron comes in 4 milligram tablets, and what I really wanted to do was to cut one of them in half and just take 6. So I was tempted to take matters into my own hands, but I didn't. But I will continue to do research about this and continue to consider. The problem is, like, I don't have another oncologist buddy to call up and say, hey, how do you do it at your hospital? Like, I don't have anyone, I don't have a recourse. Like, I don't have a backup plan. Like, even though I did kind of hit some, let's say, difference of philosophy, if nothing else, with my current oncologist, I'm really not prepared to switch unless I was to find someone who had as good of a reputation and things were better on this regard. And one thing, I had a conversation with my surgeon who hooked me up with the oncologist in the first place, and I don't know, she didn't have like any particular information to give me, except she kind of talked me through the process that she went through mentally in choosing which oncologist to recommend for me. And through that conversation, I realized that that what I am comparing my oncologist against is a fantasy of the perfect oncologist, rather than against what might actually be available to me. And, you know, there's no way I'm going to drive to New York or Boston every week to get my treatment. And, you know, there's some comfort in the routine at this point to have the same, pretty much always the same nurse, who knows me and knows my needs and tries to give me a space of privacy if she can. And yeah, I would be walking into an unknown, and who knows what I'd be up against in that unknown. So right now, I'm up against taking more pills than I want to take. And one thing my surgeon said, she said, this isn't my area, so I don't really know how it works, but it could be that if you did have that allergic reaction, even a little bit of an allergic reaction, they'd immediately have to switch your chemo drug. And that opens up a whole can of worms, so. I don't know. That's another one down. 8 more to go. 8 more to go, Jim.
8 more to go.
It's a little less daunting of a number than 9, but it's still... it still feels like a long haul. I just think of people like my friend who's got invasive cancer, and she doesn't have a number. She just keeps getting treatment as long as it works. So, puts it in perspective, I guess.